The legendary Jamaican cryptid, the rolling calf. Where does it come from and is it real? Let's find out. Hey, it's Geneva and welcome to Mystery Digest, where I cover true crime cases, paranormal cases, and other mystery-related content. This video is a part of a series that I'm doing on Jamaican folklore, where I look at different mythical creatures that are present in Jamaican culture. And today, I'm covering the rolling calf. Splendid. I actually grew up being terrified of this thing. Good times, good times. I'm definitely not traumatized. In this video, I'll be covering first and foremost what a rolling calf is, the cultural significance of the rolling calf, and the belief in it. And I will also be reading to you stories that were sent in to me and ones that I found on the internet. So without further ado, let's begin. What is a rolling calf? A rolling calf is a malicious spirit or duppy manifested in the form of an animal. It's believed to be able to shapeshift into different animals, the most well-known form being a bull cow or a hornless goat with a black or white spotted coat and a corresponding caprine stench. One of its front legs is human, the other one is that of a horse. The two hind legs are those of a goat. Its tail curls over its back. Older folks say that the most dangerous shape-shifting form of the rolling calf is that of the brindled cat. But regardless of what animal it's presenting as, the classic features that are unique and identifiable to a rolling calf stays the same. Glowing red eyes like blazing fires, flames or smoke coming from its nostrils, a collar around its neck with a chain that drags ominously behind it. A rolling calf is usually believed to be the spirit of a person who has done truly wicked things in their lives, which includes but isn't exclusive to killing people, being an obeah worker, or being a malicious person during their life. But others believe that rolling calves are the spirits of butchers. A lot of the time, these two ideas are put together to say that a rolling calf is the spirit of a malicious butcher, especially those that short customers their meat. Because the rolling calf is a ghost or a duppy, or a type of duppy in Jamaican folklore, it is believed that someone who practices obeah can command the rolling calf to target a specific person or family, as they can with other forms of ghosts or duppies. And funnily enough, they are very likely to become rolling calves themselves after death, making them slaves to someone else's will if ever another sorcerer wishes. A rolling calf is said to inflict harm on its victims by blowing bad breath on them. This can wreak all sorts of havoc and evil in the victim's life, and can sometimes kill the victim immediately. If you ever find yourself in an encounter with a rolling calf, to get rid of it, you must flog it with a tarred whip using your left hand. Another way to do this is to drop several items on the ground for the creature to count and escape during the distraction, or running into crossroads to confuse it. Whatever method is used to escape the rolling calf, you'll be well advised to leave the premises at once, for the rolling calf will always return with a vengeance. That was very informative. Now, this section of the video, I'll be reading to you the stories that I promised before. And I promise I am not scared, even though I'm alone in the house and it's starting to get dark. Story 1. One of my grandfather's friends were walking home late at night. At first, it was mostly quiet, regular outside noises, the crickets and other loud insects and small croaking frogs. But then he noticed the sound of chains dragging in the distance. At first, he didn't pay it much mind and went on his way. But the sounds got more noticeable after a while, so he decided to look back. Behind him were two really bright red lights, but after his eyes adjusted, he realized that they were actually eyes. Glowing red eyes on a large cow. It seemed to have steam coming out of his nostrils. And the chain noises he was hearing? That was caused by a large chain and a bell attached to the collar around its neck. The cow had these massive horns, and his feet were human feet. That's Gotta be nice to see, you know? Realizing what it was, he started running, and here came the rolling calf behind him. The chains got louder as the creature caught up with him. Determined to outrun the rolling calf, he sped up and began running faster on the path to his house. The wind was rushing so hard against his ears, his heart was beating so fast that he didn't even realize that the running had stopped. The rolling calf had stopped chasing him. By the time he realized this, he had a heart attack, but luckily he survived. Maybe this was Usain Bolt's grandfather, you know? Maybe. Story number 2. A while back, a man was in the field doing some farming around dusk, and in the distance he heard some clanking noises like chains. Having an idea what it was, he went up a tall tree nearby. The rolling calf continued to the spot where the man was, where the creature continued to move about, looking around and letting smoke out of its nose. At the time, it was getting dark, so its glowing red eyes were unmistakable. Thankfully, it continued on its path so the man in the tree could leave. Okay, on to story number 3. Norma Williams, a St. Mary resident, said that her mother had told her that she once saw a rolling calf. She said she go up on her ends and come back around 11 o'clock in the night. While she had come up, she see something and she stopped. When she stopped, the something stopped. And when she walk off, the something walk off. There was a turn off that she was supposed to turn to come home, but the rolling calf reached the turn before she and turned upon the road, Miss Williams related. It was a rolling calf with him, long chain behind him. She no bother go upon the turn. She go through the cow pasture and take bush round the road to reach home, Williams said. And that concludes my stories. But before I end the video, I'd like to share my own experiences, not with a rolling calf, but what I did in pure fear of seeing one once. Alright, so growing up, still where I live now, but growing up, I used to walk to school because it wasn't that far of a distance. I used to walk to school through a shortcut. And there was one day when my little sister did not come to school with me. It was just me alone, and I had to walk through that shortcut alone. Now, back then the shortcut was really dark. It was heavily forested, and not a nice place to be alone, honestly. So I remember walking home from school, and I was so terrified of seeing like a rolling calf or hearing chains. So I was listening out, but at the same time there was so much adrenaline running through me. And when I tell you I was terrified, I am not exaggerating. I remember that I was pinching myself, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what was the reason behind it, but I pinched myself so hard with my fingernails that I bled, and I did not realize that I was bleeding until I got home. Needless to say, me a coward. So what do you guys think about the creature rolling calf? Like, did you guys hear any stories about them growing up like I did? Because I surely did, hence why I caught myself walking home from school alone. And the thing is, that wasn't the first instance where I was so terrified. Like, it became almost like a ritual for me to, every time I'm walking through that shortcut, to just like listen to see, to hear if I'm gonna hear something that shouldn't be there. And I was always so quiet walking through that shortcut. It's a bit different now. I'm bigger, and that's not the reason why I'm no longer scared. I'm no longer scared because it's not as heavily forested as it was before, so I can literally see everything. So again, did you guys hear any stories about them growing up? Because I definitely did, and it scarred me. And what do you guys think about the stories that I had? Did you like them? So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. All right. And if you have any stories that you would like to share, you can share them in the comments. You could send me them on Instagram or email it to me at it will be on the screen. It will be on the screen. Bye.